Hey guys, my name is Rowan, and today we're going to talk about Wwise again. On my last video, I talked about integrating Wwise into Unity, and today we're going to see how to play our sounds inside the game by the use of events, which are the most simple commands that we can call inside the Unity engine using the Wwise middleware. So the first thing we need is two sounds, and we're going to grab these two sounds that I've already prepared for our spaceship and the enemy spaceship, and they sound like this. But what we need is to create events inside of Wwise. We need to create a play event for each. Once we have that done, we need to check the name that we give to these events, because we're going to need the exact name inside Unity to call for the event. So let's just call it something more simple, enemy underscore shoot, instead of play underscore enemy underscore shoot, and player underscore shoot. All right, so we have these two events. Let's create a Soundcaster session just to test if they are working the way that we intend them to. So let's put this one here, and let's put this one here. And they're working perfectly well the way that I want them to. So now we need to create the sound banks, which is the file in which Unity is going to call for all the design that we make inside of Wwise. So we go to Soundbanks and we create a new Soundbank file, and we're going to call it main. We're going to call it main, and then we're going to go to the Soundbank layout to generate the Soundbank that we need for our game. So we just have to press to check these ones here, which are those Soundbanks that we need to do. Check the platform that we want to make it for, and the language. We also need to add the events that we need to add to our Soundbank so that we can call them inside of Unity. After that, we need to generate it. Let's close this down. And now we're going to Unity to check out how this is working. So let's go to the Wwise picker, and let's see. Yes. As you can see here, we have already the two events that we defined and the Soundbank that we created inside our Wwise picker in Unity. Now, what we need to do, and if you remember from my last video, the Wwise global game object here has the AK terminator and initializers for the Soundbanks. But what it doesn't have is the actual Soundbank in itself. So we need to load the Soundbank into the scene, into our game. So depending on the game and the type of game, the number of levels, the number of locations, etc., etc., we might have more than one Soundbank. So in this situation, we just have a main Soundbank, and it's only one scene. So we're just going to attach it directly into the camera. So we go to add component, AK bank, and we are going to add the bank to our component here. All right, so this way our Soundbank is going to be loaded when we load the camera, because it loads on start and loads on destroy, so it's okay. All right, now that we have that done, we need to call the events. There's two ways that we can call the events. So the first one is by the same thing that we just did, by using a component. So let's go, if you've done this tutorial, you might know that the prefabs are like templates for assets inside the game. So in this situation, I know that the enemy bolt is always the same, so I'm going directly into the bolt. And I'm going to add an AK event component, and I want to trigger it on awake. So every time it awakes in the scene, it appears on the scene, it's going to trigger this event. So the event that I want for this one, and since it's the bolt enemy, is the enemy shoot. So I'm going to shoot to use the enemy shoot here. Okay. And now we are going to test our project. Our player isn't shooting anything, but we have the enemy players shooting. The enemies shooting and making the sound. Cool. So we have one event working. The other way of calling for events is using the using actual code or using the API. Let's go to our player and check out how the script works. So this might look a little bit menacing at first, but once you get used to it and once you read a little bit more of code, you start to get used to the words, you start to get used to the conditions that appeared in everything. So in this situation here, we can see that if we press the fire one button, which is the mouse one button, we're going to have a shot instantiated. So that's essentially what we need to know inside here. So this is the condition that is playing the shot when we press the button. And as you can see here, we have a get component audio source. This is using the Unity engine, but we don't want that. We want to use the Wwise engine. So AK sound engine dot post event. And here we want the name of the event that we set. So player underscore shoot, comma, get object. Sorry, game object. Because it's calling for this game object in specific. So we're going to save our script, and now we're going to check out if every single time that we press down the mouse button, the player shooting sound is going to work. So as you can see, every single time that I click on my mouse, I get my my sound effect. So these are the two ways that you can add events to your game inside of Unity using the Wwise middleware tools. I hope you liked it, and I hope that this might help you, because for me it was a little bit hard trying to understand at first how to use the API and how to use the components inside of Wwise, getting to know the language and getting to know the components that we have inside the tools really helps. So as I say down below in the description, go to the websites of these, to Audiokinetics website and Unity website, to learn more about these tools if you really want to learn, because they're really useful. Like always, if you have any comments or any feedback, they are most welcome, and thank you for watching. Have a good one.